Hi, you're watching Nerdy News on VideoGamesBlogger.com. I'm your host Laura, and today I'll be filling you in on the latest in gaming news. Prison, 3 hot to cot. Oh yeah, and 12-hour shifts of World of Warcraft. Some Chinese prisoners have reportedly been forced to farm video game currency. One such detainee claims that he was one of 300 people required to play games such as World of Warcraft in 12-hour shifts. That time was spent generating in-game money, which the prison guards sold to other players for real-world currency, earning them as much as $924 per day. Prisoners wouldn't receive any of that money, and failing to comply resulted in punishment. The Australian federal government is struggling to set up guidelines for an 18+ rating for video games. The Australian gaming community has long campaigned for an 18+ rating for video games in the same way that all other media is classified, but they are divided over the federal government's latest draft video game classification guidelines. Adult entertainment video games will become legal in the Act if the federal government introduces an adult rating, according to the new guidelines. The proposed 18+ rating will permit the depiction of drug use and nudity in the video games. There will be no restrictions on language, such as abusive or racist terms, and sexual violence may be implied if given in a justified context. One organization is working hard preserving video games for future generations to study and enjoy. The International Center for the History of Electronic Games has received a $113,277 grant from the Institute of Museum and Library Services to further its efforts to archive and preserve video game history. The 2-year project that this grant is funding will identify the needs of preserving over 7,000 games and create best practice conservation and maintenance manuals for future use both inside and outside of the museum. Sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what video games are made of. A 5-year-old girl has dreamed up what may be the most adorable video game ever created. Sissy's Magical Ponycorn Adventure was the result of Cassie Crichton's trip to Toronto Game Jam with her dad Ryan. Little Cassie drew all the pictures, wrote all the titles, and recorded the voice of the main character. She also came up with the NPCs, including Mr. Turtle, the mean tiger, and the villainous lemon, and designed some of the puzzles. For those of you wanting to play this adorable game, visit the link in this article. A Louisiana gamer has won $1 million for pitching a perfect game. In a perfect game, the pitcher doesn't allow a single base runner via hit, walk, or any other means. Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Roy Halladay has pitched 2 perfect Major League Baseball games. Last April, he did it again. Well, except this perfect game was in a video game and earned 25-year-old Brian Kingery $1 million in the MLBK 11 Perfect Game Challenge. Brian is a music teacher from Hammond, Louisiana. His wife was the one who encouraged Brian to enter the contest when 2K Sports had offered a $1 million prize to the first player to record a perfect outing. Kingery plans to meet Halladay later this year and thank him for helping him win the contest. And now for some games releasing this week. Dawn of Fantasy is a fantasy massively multiplayer online real-time strategy for Microsoft Windows. Players will develop their homeland from a couple of buildings, villagers, and a hero unit to a massive empire complete with layers of heavy walls and keeps, a complex economy, and a number of armies and trade caravans wandering the map. Hunted the Demon Forge is a third-person action video game set in a dark fantasy world developed for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Microsoft Windows. 2 mercenaries, Ilara and Kaduk, go searching for a mysterious artifact which Kaduk had a vision about. That's all the news I have for today. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below. Love and peace from my PC to yours.